Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today we're doing the build and play guide on the new Dupleix. I believe is how you pronounce it. I don't know. I could be way off, guys. My pronunciations aren't why you're here. And speaking of that, the commander, I don't even want to try this, but Kiruma Seraka, I'm not sure. This is the commander I use on the Toulon line of the French line, the bottom line with the guns on the front. Because this does have a reload booster, and we are using Membelli for reload and Norman Scott for grouping. Now, you could use, if you don't have Karumi, you could 100% use, definitely use the Lemonnier, would be a good one. Now, also, if I was building only for this ship, I would take the cruiser main battery range here over the HE. It definitely the HE is solid on this. When you get the chance, if the opportunity strikes itself, I feel like the AP is probably slightly the better option, but all pretty good options, right? But the range on this ship is a little bit lower, and having that would help it more than the 2% fire chance, in my opinion. Focused fire, as you can see, super helpful on this ship, and it makes this ship pretty accurate when you're using your reload booster, and also fixated and fully packed to go ahead and get another reload booster. As you see, normally right here you'd only have two of them, but because of this build, you have three, three, and four. Now, for your upgrades, aiming systems mod 1 and propulsion mod 2. So, for your consumables, while the sonar isn't the best in the world by any means, it actually does come in handy quite a bit at this tier because you got tier 5 destroyers just chucking torps everywhere. And the engine boost here, pretty handy to have, if especially if you're kiting away and you want to get some more distance. This is pretty handy. Main battery mod reload booster. This is obviously having four of them. This is again quite handy. Specs 35,000 health, which is actually pretty good for a tier 5 cruiser. And the guns, which are a bright spot for me. I really do like these guns on when I've been able to use them. We'll talk about that here in a second. But reload at 14 seconds. Now keep in mind, not a ton of cruisers at tier 5 have 203s. This is actual heavy cruiser, right? So it is nice to have, and when you get the opportunity at tier 5, there is cruisers that go broadside and you should absolutely obliterate them. In fact, this AP is pretty solid on this. I lean slightly between the AP and then over the HE. But you definitely need to switch between both of them when you have the opportunities. And as you can see here, the secondary armament not good, but your 180 time isn't too bad for a heavy cruiser. It's not wonderful by any means, but could be worse. And you do have a 70% chance to start fires, which is not bad at all. Now, torpedoes, another bright spot, which I didn't really pay attention to at first. And these are solid torpedoes for a cruiser at tier 5. They do decent damage, but more importantly, they have 9-kilometer range and they're actually usable. Now, I wish I had known this more when I played it. I only glanced at the ship before I got into it, and that was detrimental. Now, the AA defense, almost non existent, guys. It's at tier 5 where you run into a lot of carriers. It's the second biggest weakness. There's a biggest weakness on the ship, but this is definitely one of them. If you get focused by a carrier, you're just done. Maneuverability 32 knots, turning circle at 700, and the rudder at 9.5. Stats. Alright, this is going to be rough, and I'm going to explain why. 50% win rate. Honestly, don't even deserve that, but it's not the ship. Let me explain here in a minute. But you can see the main gun's real accurate at 45%. So one issue the ship has here is the guns at 15.1 aren't very, you don't have good range on them, right? And that causes a little bit of a problem. That's why I would say take beyond range if you have the ability to. Because when you go ahead and look at this armor, right? All right, you have a 16 millimeter bow and stern, meaning Cheshire or bigger guns. So basically, battleships and Graspy and Cheshire can overmatch you. So be careful with that. Now, another issue this ship has. Uh, let's get to side plating and stuff. 25 millimeters. That is an issue. Okay. Let's get, where is it? There we go. 25 millimeters on the outside here on the armor belt. So basically, anything that has over 14-inch guns is going to send you if they get any shot on you. This is a behind the island cruiser, very much so. Or you can kite with it, but it is a little bit tough to kite. We'll take this off, you'll see why. This thing, when you're playing it, it plays a lot like Algeria, the Tier 6 French cruiser. Citadels are similar. It's not the same ship by any means, but it plays similar. And you have some really weird stuff here with the angles on the Citadel, and you can get caught really bad. If something overmatches you in your front, you're dead. If you get hit from the side, you're dead. And if you get in the back, you have all these weird angles where your ship gets citadeled. Again, basically, if you get hit by a battleship, you're dead. Okay? Very much like the rest of the French cruisers. Sure, if you have one battleship shooting at you that has 14-inch guns or lower, you can angle. Yes, but that's a very that's a limited situation where you're only gonna have one battleship and nothing else shooting at you. Everything out, if you have outside of that, you don't want to be spotted. This is a very much an island cover ship, and the problem is that as I do not play divisions, so I generally have a rough time spotting for myself, and this ship cannot spot for itself. If you are relying on your own spotting in this ship, it is a very tough. In fact, out of the 4 games I've had, I've been dev struck twice. I'm gonna put the clips in there so you can laugh. As we start the match, it's disclaimer time. This is a beginner's video meant to help people new to the ship or new to the game. This is not meant for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything in the universe. There are multiple ways to play and build this ship, and I am an above average player. Not the world's best. I make mistakes. You may see one in this match. You didn't come here for pronunciations. I'm as good as anybody at slaughtering beautiful languages all the time. With that out of the way, we are at Scandinavian. We're bottom tier. Now, I have only gotten dev strike probably, I think, 3 times in the last month. 2 of them are in this ship in the 4 matches I played into it today. That doesn't mean I don't like the ship. I like the ship quite well. It just, if you're not a division player, which I'm not, I don't play any divisions in standard. This can be a hard ship to play, especially if you don't have any island cover and no spotting. And today was rough. Now, the first time I got caught, that was my own fault, right? I was being dumb. I thought I could get away with something. And I paid for it, like I should have. The second time, I was angling to a Hyuga, and another Hyuga went right through my bow. And not much I could do there. I was already pushed back on my side pretty far. So that's what it is. Now, you can see we have switched over to AP, and we have taken an absolute beating instantly because I haven't learned any of my lessons from before. Everything HE pins and hurts you. So, this skein, we're going to try to take a shot at the skein now and try to back up from De Grasse, which we'll be having a video on shortly, and I'm going to talk about that ship. I like that ship a lot, even though, you got to be careful on that ship too. But I do like that one. However, we're going to stay spotted because this destroyer's over here. And you know me, I had to take a shot at him. Didn't get him. And we're going to be, the beginning of the match here, we can tell we made some mistakes. We're switching back to AP on De Grasse. He is angled to me, but still the AP. I get a little bit unlucky with my AP salvos here. Even with that, the AP on this thing is definitely solid enough to use on other cruisers. Especially if you get real close in, you can give a rough time on cruisers. Now, that being said, I'm not going to have the world's best accuracy in this game, and that's because I'm playing out at range and using it to our best ability. We are trying to just back up and get to a better position here because where I was is kind of rough, and I need to be definitely not so aggressive. Now, right when I do this, that other battleship backs up, and that's what I was really mostly worried about. This thing can get absolutely wrecked here by other battleships or by battleships. You gotta be real careful. Now I see teammates pushing in, so we're gonna come up and help. Since I probably won't be the focus of everybody's shot, and that's what we're gonna do. And again, even though it's at my range, I'm gonna take shots at a destroyer. That's just how I work. I kind of like a dog chasing cars when I see a destroyer, and that's gonna happen in this match. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and push ourselves up a little bit here again. And try not get out of this cove, because this cove really kind of can trap you. To be honest, this area kind of caught me off guard a little bit because this version of Scandinavia I don't play very often. So we know DeGrasse is right there. And we're going to take a couple shots at the King George, and the reason is maybe the DeGrasse is not paying attention. We're going to use AP as well, and because he is broadside, and you can see before our shells get there, he dies. Alright, so otherwise you probably would have seen the AP a little bit more in action. Now we're going to take and just shoot, and then switch over to HE for the DeGrasse, and we're going to work on finishing this DeGrasse off. This DeGrasse is kind of not paying attention to me. He's super focused on the destroyers. So I'm getting basically kind of a free range at him right now. And I'm just making sure nothing sneaks up on you. You cannot be snuck up on in the ship. Like the Hyuga snuck up on me. Not much I can do about it in that scenario. But outside of them 2 matches where I got depth struck, these 2 other matches that I had were pretty decent. Not the greatest, but this one, while I'm not going to do a ton of damage, I'm going to be super important to the team. And you can see it on the other side of the map, right? We know where California is. We know he's the closest person. And now we're going to have some spotting, and I'm going to get behind an island. And that's where you're going to see, we've had a rough first part of the game. We got hurt quite a bit. We haven't really helped a whole lot on our team. And we can't shoot that destroyer, otherwise I would. But we're going to get up here, try to tuck up behind this island a little bit. And try to put him on fire, or get this California, which is a wide ship, obviously. It's going to be an easy one to hit. We're going to go ahead and just try to get this guy up on fire. He's got a lot of health left. And being that he's angled towards this, AP is not really a good option. We're just going to try to get that superstructure on this thing. And we're going to just be real careful here. We're letting our turrets turn around. Takes a little bit, but again, not the worst turret traverse. It's not a Pensacola. However, the AP, like I said, don't get showcased too much in this match, but is solid. Now, obviously, I'm getting spotted by a destroyer here, because there's nobody else close enough. And we're going to go ahead and get California on fire. And we're just being careful that California isn't trying to kill us. So we're trying to use the island to our advantage. And we're going to go ahead and move up behind the island. I actually checked there. What I was doing is checking to see if that smoke was a cruiser. I wasn't really, or a destroyer. Just because I could have sat there in there a while if it had been. And we're going to work on getting California. He just used the damage con, so we're going to get him back on fire again. And decent HE in this thing too. I'm pretty happy with this ship when you can get some, like when you're in an opportunity like this where you can use island cover And this is where this shines, and this is why I wanted to show it. Keeping yourself unspotted. And again, we're going to do our best to get from that other destroyer over on the other side. And now that we're assuming we're going to get another fire here, we're going to switch to AP, and we do. And you can start to see our damage is a lot better when we can just use island cover and unload. And we're going to switch to AP because we got 2 fires on him. We don't want him to put it out if he has fight fire with fire. And we're going to go ahead and finish him off. We even overpinned a battleship. So the AP's pretty solid on this thing. Right? So now what we're going to do is there is one destroyer in front of me, and I am aware of this, right? And we see captured C. I'm not spotted, so I know he's behind that, probably a big mountain. And I'm going to let one of the destroyers know, hey, I could use your help because we are losing this match. And not only that, but now they're going to be taking another cap to make it worse. And this is a very good close game, and I'm definitely going to be the difference maker here, as you're going to see about what I'm about to walk into. So I'm spotted again, and I hit my sonar just to see it, because I'm sure torps are coming here at some point. Probably used that a little early, but I thought maybe he'd be behind this island. And sure enough, there he is, right? So we know he's there. We're going to go ahead, come up here, and we're going to go start unloading on him, and we're going to turn in. Why are we going to turn in? There's clearly torps coming. We're going to be able to outrun the first set. We see the second set. We're going to torp that, and we are just going to make this guy's day not fun. All right? This guy probably was thinking he was going to get an easy torp off. Especially after he saw me get wrecked. He probably thought it wasn't a very good destroyer or cruiser player. And we're going to make him pay for his life choices. So we're going to go ahead and completely finish him off. And we're going to defend our cap. And we've gotten rid of a destroyer. Now, if you look over there, that destroyer has absolutely no health, right? So again, not too worried about the destroyer. What I'm worried about now is defending these 2 caps and the battleships coming, because there's 2 battleships actually coming, believe it or not. Well, I mean, there is 2 battleships, and they're really the threat. One I don't think we see, to be honest with you, the rest of the match, but this battleship that's coming has full health, and I want to do the best to use the island. And now this is going to be another good reason why I wanted to show this match, and because here in a second, you're going to see me showcase using dodging shells, which it can do, but be careful while you're doing it. And to be fair, our Italian battleship buddy has had a good game himself, the Carcacciolo, and he's going to play smart along with me. Now, I am not worried about the destroyer, because one, I'm not spotted, so obviously I'm not in range of torpedoes. And being that he's spotted, we know where that destroyer is kind of anyway after last time it's spotted. And I'm going to use this island the best I can, even though I get spotted here. And the reason for that is I'm assuming we're going to have to kill this battleship to defend the sea cap. And also we got to be real careful of that destroyer, right? Because we know he's coming at some point. Or we think he is, and what we're going to do now is this Normandy's completely angled towards me. We're just going to go ahead and try to light this guy on fire. He's going to take some shots at me, but Normandy, not the world's most accurate ship. Now this time we kind of accelerate, turn out. Kind of an obvious one there. And we're going to keep ourselves small. We got a couple fires on him, so... or there is a couple fires on him. They aren't our fires. It's our Italian battleship buddy, right? So he put some 2 fires out. And we're going to light him back up again. Oh, no, he's not out of fire, so he's already back up. But to our credit, our Italian battleship buddy helped us in this match quite a bit. As you see, we're losing on points. We're losing on ships right now. And what we have to do is get rid of Normandy. And we're just going to kite away a little bit while we're doing this. And being very careful. So we're going to go ahead and just keep throwing HE shells on this guy right now. Obviously, it looks like the fire is going to go out here in a second, and then we're going to relight them up. But overall, not a bad ship. I know my stats look bad in it. It's not the ship. It's honestly my aggressive play style and not playing in divisions at all. Now, this time, instead of driving straight like last time, we're going to just make sure we're kiting away. We don't want to get any closer to him. And now he's put the fires out, and all we got to do is get one shell on him to kill him, right? Our first set, I didn't really realize I should shoot right away, and then I saw how bad the spread was, and then we're going to go ahead and take another shot. But in the meantime, he's going to get one more shot off on me, and this is where it's important. Right now, we get that last one off, we get the kill. Our Italian battleship buddy got his helping hand. And what we're going to do from this point is just stay alive, right? We don't know where that other battleship is. And the biggest thing here is we know, look, he's obviously not in front of us. Otherwise, we wouldn't have dark. He's over by the islands. I'm on the border. I'm trying to get out the border. I don't want to cheese the border. And we're going to just do our best to avoid this and not get dev struck. And to our credit, the Carcacholo also realizes this and completely does get back himself. And if this destroyer shows his face, I have HE loaded, and I'm going to send torpedoes over that way. And then what I'm going to do next is just run, right? There's no reason to get into a fight. I had the sonar going now, so I'm not worried about torpedoes. That's why I was poking in, and just in case we were going to get him spotted. But he's not gonna. The destroyer doesn't have much health, and he does not get spotted the rest of the time. And the other battleship does not actually find us or see us or take a shot at us. So, good job to our teammate there sticking it out with us. We didn't have a ton of support from our team, but we did what we absolutely could, having a solid game. And top of leaderboard, 2,500 game, pretty respectable at the tier. Plus, we just completely wrecked a destroyer, which made me my day anyway. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of the ship down below. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time, folks. Have a good one.